Hello and welcome to Quiet on the Set. I am your host, Phil Biadrone. Before anything, please remember to like and subscribe on our network. Joining me today is Mr. Garen, our head writer. Woo. Garen will be joining us with some awesome, quippy comebacks and really clever things to say, right, Garen?
Yeah, I hope you guys like the intro. I actually wrote the song. I don't know why everyone's laughing.
All right. Wonderful. He's also going to be lying from that podium. So let's dive right into the monologue, shall we? Terrible things are happening in Florida. There's just disaster after disaster, and I'm not even talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. No, I mean Hurricane Matthew has devastated South Florida, and then right after that, there's now the threat of Zika virus due to all the standing water that's left over. What's worse than blood-sucking mosquitoes are the Democrats that no longer have a place to vote. They are saying, they truly are saying that it has wiped out a lot of polling places, and a lot of people late to register won't be able to vote. So actually, this grace of God could actually help Donald Trump. So I think he's got some dark sources working for him.
I think putting grace of God and Donald Trump in the same sentence is a little bit.
Well, it's going to take the grace of God to save Donald Trump. I'm sure the elephant in the room is this tape that was recorded. Did you hear it?
No, I mean, I heard a little bit of it, but not the full thing.
Okay, I will sum
heard
it
enough, let's just say that.
I will sum it up for you. He says Donald Trump can make a woman do anything. Let's see if he can get them to vote for him, because it's pretty awful the things that he has said about these women. He later apologized for the first time he's ever apologized his entire campaign for 16 months. He said, hey, you know what? It's my fault. I'm not the perfect person. It's like, but you should be a person. You know, like the things that he said, you know, he's already married. He's talking about eating some Tic Tacs so before he kisses a woman. So like he's talking about grabbing women in certain areas. It was just terrible. You know, so a lot of the Republicans recommend that Donald Trump step down and be replaced at this moment. What do you think? Should we replace Donald Trump as a presidential nominee?
I mean, honestly, if they replace him with anyone or even anything, they might have a chance.
I think so. I think like a piece of wood has a better chance for the Republican ticket. Like a stump. You know, how about that? How about Stump 2016, right?
Stump over Trump.
Stump over Trump. And it'll give a good stump speech. All right, I'll leave it there. Anyway, so I'm sure you all have heard about the clown sightings that have happened, not just in the U.S., but it's happening abroad now in U.K., Australia, all over the world. There's this huge fad about killer clowns coming out and scaring the crap out of people. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I was walking home the other night and I was expecting to see a clown on my street. That's how common it's occurring now. It's
yeah,
weird.
Well, there's certain parts of West Hollywood that you can still find that, but why does it have to be clowns? Why couldn't it have been like sexy nurses sighting or something? Like, why is it? Because the clowns, it's bizarre. They're chasing kids, and it's like this weird mixture of scary and funny. Speaking of which, if you want to see scary and funny, the debate tonight at 9 p.m. Oh, there we go. In other news, there was a vegan mother who is accused of starving her baby by feeding him only nuts and fruits. That's like a super vegan. She says it's all cruelty-free, but soy breast milk, I think that's the cruelty part right there. Other weird news, in Beijing, do you want to take this one? What happened in Beijing?
Well, in Beijing, apparently there's a company that is forcing their female workers to walk up to their male boss and kiss him every morning in line. And he actually got the idea from an American company. I wonder where.
Trump? I don't know. Well, who knows? Who knows? A chicken was arrested in Scotland for crossing the road, right?
Yeah.
So what happens if a chicken crosses the road, Garen?
Get to the other side.
It gets locked up.
In
the pen. Cooped out.
I didn't see that coming.
No. Okay. There was a big seize of two 20-year-old males. They came from Peru, tried to get back into the United States, and they've got all these little jackets, these children's-sized jackets, and they were lined with cocaine. When they were later interrogated by the police, they're like, are you using these jackets for anything in particular? They said, well, it's for snow, technically. And this is actually some sad and depressing news, Garen. I don't know if you know this, but only 1 in 5 millennials have ever tried a Big Mac.
I believe that's insane. That's kind of crazy. I'm a millennial, and I've had a Big Mac. It's not good, but I've had it.
Thank you, Garen, for setting up an anti-joke right there. I don't know if any of you know what Sobertober is. I kind of feel a bit depressed because I thought I invented Sobertober. And Sobertober is Sober October, where you don't drink anything for the entire month of October. And I've been doing this for over a week now. I've been doing it actually for 5 years. And there's a couple things I've learned after not drinking. One, my jokes aren't that funny. You know? Like it's bad. Like on my front, I know it's like, oh, that was a really sober, horrible joke. I'm always the designated driver no matter what now, even though I'm a terrible driver. Come on, as wasn't because I got into an accident last week. And people always offer me free alcohol when it's Sobertober, I've noticed. So please put it away, and there's no drinking on the show. I think that's going to wrap us up. The debate is happening tonight. I don't know what's going to happen with Trump. It's going to be a circus out there tonight. We'll follow up a little bit later. Once again, please like and subscribe, and we will see you in a minute after this brilliant sketch.
Do you have trouble setting up complicated equipment?
Not enough people to help you out?
Feel like you're working yourself to death?
Hi, I'm Jim,
And I'm Stacy.
and we're here to tell you to
Get a grip!
We're LA's #6 destination for all things grip and electric.
So if you want top 6 quality at affordable prices, you need to get a grip!
We've got everything. Lights, stands, clamps, stingers.
Get a grip! We can shoot anywhere. Indoor, outdoor, indoor, door. Get a grip!
Let's take a look at what our customers think.
Oh, yeah, they were okay. I guess they showed up. So,
Well, I thought their service was fantastic. Best in the business.
Stacy!
We have payment plans for all budget levels. Good credit, bad credit, no credit, copy credit meal. Get a grip!
So what are you waiting for? Call now! So it's like it's a thing where like I get excited for little things that get rebooted like this, where it was. It to me it felt like I knew I was watching some kind of angsty teenage thing where like and it was like whenever everybody was saying, oh, it's gonna be darker, it just seems more angsty, which is not darker, that's just angst. Like that's not real darkness. Unless like in the new trailer we see like people's heads getting ripped off, then I'll be like, oh crap, that's dark. But from what I saw about this, I think it's a pretty good, like, a decent setup. Like, the second trailer would decide it for me. If there's another trailer that reveals a little bit more, then I'll be okay with it. Right now, I'm kind of like, meh. The ending got me kind of excited with the whole suits and all that. I was like, come on, show me more. And then it cut him like, oh.
I got it. Okay. I don't know. You said like about the darker thing, and I feel like this is how we appeal to the audience that grew up watching the show, and how do we make it applicable to them? You know, and as opposed to like a family-friendly thing. But I think that's failed so much so recently with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's failed.
Yeah.
You know,
Has that been darker though?
No, it wasn't. Teenage Mutant
Transformers tried to be darker.
It wasn't even darker. They were trying. I mean, there's a difference between doing darker in tone and being a little, being more adult or realistic or whatever. I think anything that Michael Bay does or has a part of in those things, they were just trying to take whatever the cartoon was and make it more hip and more applicable and grounded in real life.
Well, let me toss to both of you. Is there an example of something that was like a childhood favorite that we grew up on that they've put into the big screen and made it a little bit more mature and darker that has succeeded? Anything you can think of?
can't think of one yet.
Yeah, no.
See, that's why I don't have faith in
Well,
Power
but
Rangers.
I also think that's just
You know
because of
what?
the trends, though.
X-Men.
Oh, yes. Okay.
More or less, right? The cartoon was like there, but it wasn't as like serious.
Sure, yeah.
And then when they rebooted with First Class, and then we see how Xavier gets paralyzed,
Right,
And it's
yeah.
like, oh, okay, that's
I think
kind of serious.
I think they made it cool, like in terms of they kept the action of it and they made it. But I had my own little problems with from the animated show to the movies for different reasons, just more aesthetic than story wise.
All the costumes.
Yeah, the costumes. That stuff was just weird. Like I understand that was Singer's vision and whatever, but like
no, it was successful. So,
Yeah.
it was. They were
Yeah.
very successful because they weren't bad. Well, the third one was the Brett
that
Ratner
won't be
one
mentioned.
was. Yeah, the Brett Ratner
that
one
was
was
that
a nightmare.
Apocalypse?
No, the third
The Last Stand.
Yeah, the Last Stand.
Oh, yeah.
Brett Ratner's BS.
I didn't know those existed. I thought we already rebooted and then just erased all that.
Pretend that happened. Let's move on to another one. How about John
Wick 2!
All right, so
Yes!
I guess you're both fans of John Wick.
Oh my God,
Okay.
huge fan.
Just a real quick wrap up. If you've not seen John Wick, the plot of this movie is John Wick goes on a murderous rampage because someone kills his dog and his car. Right.
No. Okay, so the thing is, you're really simplifying it because what happened
That's
is
exactly it.
is what happened is someone killed. Yeah, you're right. They killed his dog, but it was his dog to cope with his wife's death from a terminal illness.
Yeah.
And so basically, that was like the last thing she did for him. So he wouldn't keep thinking and obsessing over her death. He would get over it, and that was the dog.
Yeah.
And so these thugs want to steal his car, break into his house, kill the dog in the process, and leave.
Yeah.
They think they're leaving him for dead.
Yeah.
Not realizing who John Wick
mistake.
was.
Big
Yeah.
mistake. John Mistake is the boogeyman's boogeyman.
And it's also
he's the
Keanu
man.
Reeves. Like, oh my God, I love Keanu Reeves, man, and this movie was dope.
It had like a level of cheesiness to it that I love with the coins and everything, and it kind of got back to unapologetic. This is action.
Yeah.
I thought it was done so well. The fight choreography.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
the stunts. I mean,
just the gunplay and everything in it.
Yeah, the
it
gunplay
just
was-
worked really well. And again, the new trailer. That's exactly what we're seeing, right?
Yeah.
We're seeing
it's
an
delivering and everything that they did in the first.
right another ultimatum. Like, oh, you've really screwed up, John Wick. Something's bad's about to happen.
Yeah.
Amazing
Which you don't do.
gunplay, and then we see where it's based in reality a little bit, to where there is this like sense of he's walking through a crowd, and also he reaches for his gun, and it's really quick in the trailer. But if you look at it, you see a bunch of people split, but there's one person still standing there.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, we all know what's
Yeah.
happening there.
Yeah.
And Common's the villain in this movie too. The
Whoa,
rapper
whoa, whoa.
Common.
The thing is, you say he's a villain, and yet we don't know who these people are. Because all of a sudden, and then we reported this on the Unscripted podcast about a few months ago. Lawrence Fishburne is in it as well.
Yeah,
And apparently there are like 3 or 4 Easter eggs to the Matrix in this
Yes.
movie.
What was the last line of the trailer? It's like, you ever think about retiring?
Yeah, I'm working
Yeah.
on it, right?
Lawrence Fishburne says that Keanu Reeves is like a nice like verbal wink,
Yeah.
if you will. And what do you think it means? The subtitle of it? It's John Wick 2 chapter. What is it?
John Wick Chapter 2.
Chapter
Yeah.
2.
Chapter 2, which I think was an interesting title. I don't know, but whatever. It
It
doesn't matter.
seems like they're gonna want to continue past.
Well,
2.
no, yeah, it's also better than naming it John Wick 2: The Reckoning.
Yeah, or just John Wick 2 in general would have just been a
Right.
little bit weird.
I think that they're actually putting a chapter on it. It's it shows a progression, and that I think this will end at some point.
Yeah.
You know, again, putting into a book
Well,
form.
yeah, I don't know because I'm skeptical about it because my worst fear is that this ends up being like Fast 19 and like we'll have John Wick 8 by the time I'm in my 40s.
But the thing is if it holds up, if the third one sucks as we know it, they usually do,
Yeah.
right? then
third movie.
yeah, we'll forgive it. But if the fourth one comes back with a vengeance, again,
John Wick with a vengeance.
There you go.
if it keeps going, I have no problem with that. Like I think I would enjoy.
I don't
that.
either because I don't think they're compromising any real story with this. That's what usually happens with those third movies is that like they blow it with just plot in general because they're trying to wrap everything up. But with this, there isn't much. It's just John Wick versus
Fun.
everybody.
Yes.
Fun. You know?
And it's really simplistic and cool, like to understand. Like you're not being fed BS with the action. You're just being fed action.
I
You
mean-
know he's just trying to kick ass.
And I don't know about any of you, but when the trailer for the first John Wick came out, I was like, oh, this is a good trailer. I hope the movie's just as good. I went to go see the movie having my doubts, and I'm like, okay, whatever happens, happens. I left that movie theater thinking, holy crap, this movie beat the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
You know,
It's
yeah.
rare.
I thought that too because I thought the trailer like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, like Keanu's just trying to pay for some vacation or something. And like, I guess he just like, I don't know, he's trying to put a down payment on something or whatever. Because I was like, whatever, it doesn't make any sense. He killed his dog. It sounds stupid. It sounded stupid to me. And I saw it and I was blown the F away.
Oh, absolutely.
Where I was like, what? It was good. It was actually a really fun, good movie. And I'm expecting nothing but at least the same par as for the second one.
Cool. Let's move on to a third movie. How about have you guys seen the trailer for Doctor Strange?
The third trailer, I believe, that's come out.
Trailer
Yes.
that's come out. Okay, let's talk about Doctor Strange.
I can't believe it's coming out so soon. It's kind of like Guardians. It's kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy. I believe it's coming out in November.
Yeah, less than a month.
Yeah, and so it's like when Guardians of the Galaxy kind of happened, it was like I forgot about it for a while, and then it's like, oh, by the way, it's coming out in like 3 weeks. I'm like, that it is.
Yeah.
And
I thought that was strange too. I mean, like, I thought.
did you say Doctor Strange?
Here at the Unscripted Podcast, we have fun.
I get one a day, guys. That's my one.
No, but I was gonna say that I think it's good that it's coming out so soon because it keeps interest. Because what ends up happening with movies like that is if it takes too long and we're all waiting, then you kind of just even if the interest doesn't die to go see the movie, the excitement will, so that it changes public opinion.
Like Blade Runner, like they're already hyping it. It's a year from now.
Yeah, like that's what sucks. Versus Guardians of the Galaxy, I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy was also got a lot more praise in the beginning too because it was not hyped up. Because they said, here's the trailer for the movie. A couple months from now, it's coming out. Go watch it.
It was very tame. It was very simplistic. Yeah. I think when it comes to the Doctor Strange, though, it's weird because we kind of have to think about, like, oh, by the way, this is a Marvel property.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It's like, okay, yeah, this is going to fit into that whole Thanos and the Avengers Infinity War and stuff like that,
It will.
Right.
It will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're trying to... I think what they're trying to do... I haven't seen the full schedule yet, but it's going to go until, like, maybe, like, 2025 or something.
Oh, no, and the thing is, this is their third third run.
Yeah.
They're also... They're continuing it. Every new run is more and more films.
Now, like, based on the content of the trailer itself, like, how do you feel about Benedict Cumberbatch or like his voice in it? First, kind of threw me hearing the trailer.
I was okay.
Teach me. Yeah.
I will admit, biasly, I'm a
loved it.
Cumberbatch fan. Biasly, because I love Sherlock, and I think I'm a huge Cumberface fan. But I thought like
Cumberface.
Yeah, that's what they call him.
That's what because they can't be Batch fans.
Yeah, all right.
Understood. Sure.
So I think that I'm excited for it in the sense that I think
right
he
casting?
fits. I think he fits the role.
Yeah, but it was.
Personally, I think
He's too young.
Well, no, it's not. There was that whole stink about this movie, and Disney paid a lot of money to make this go away. The whole casting white people as agents again.
Oh, with Tilda Swinton. Yeah.
Remember how we forgot about that?
Yeah, I mean,
The Great Wall.
No, it is.
This was before that.
I will
too,
generally
which is
say
like-
that it is a problem, yes, but I also think that this is a Marvel movie, and like, and this. No, I'm being
They get to
serious.
be racist. It's cool. They have the money, you know.
Meaning that
Walt Disney, guys.
I
Walt
have more of
Disney.
a problem with the Great Wall situation than I do with because it's a comic book, man. We're not recreating history. Great Wall is probably going to recreate some form of history with Matt Damon saving Chinese people. So that's not like that's a little bit more of a problem than
but the thing is,
a monk.
what-
Tilda Swinton being a monk.
But what if they do actually have historical? You don't know Strange. You don't know Doctor
It's a
Strange.
comic book.
But what if the comic book references actual history events like the Watchmen did?
But but that's more. But that's some Alan Moore stuff. That's really big. Like that was supposed to be not even a comic booky kind of thing. That was just
Graphic novel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not. That's different.
No, I know.
I feel like that's the outlier in it though. Is the Watchmen.
I just say.
And V for Vendetta. Anything Alan
I
Moore's
was
done
just about to
basically.
say, yeah. So is there anything else that came out? You know?
Trailer-wise, anyone? Otherwise, we could just wrap up.
I think that was it pretty much.
That
but
was it.
I-
Okay. No problem. All right, we'll be right back after this short break. back to Quiet on the Set. Joining me is Jason David Boyd. Jason, why don't you tell me what your title is and what you do?
Oh, God. Do I have a title on this show? I write, I direct a lot of our sketches. I think I've directed most of our sketches. Not all of them, though. We have a talented team that we work with. I've done most, if not all, of the editing for the sketches for the show as well.
Even the one that we just saw,
Yes, the one...
Get a Grip.
Yeah, that was... that kept me up all night. There was some...
Literally, like last night, they kept you up.
I had some technical issues with that one, because it was the first time we've done green screen and chroma key on the show, which is something we know how to do, but we haven't done it, and I've never physically gone from like front to end with it. And everything was fine in the preview, everything looked good. I exported it, it took 3 hours, and I watched the playback, and it was noisy, because there was like stuff left over that I wasn't aware of. And for some reason, it didn't show up in the preview, probably because it was blurry. And I said, like, oh God, what do I do? I had to go through the thing over again, fix it, export it again, took another 3 hours. I didn't get to bed till like 6 in the morning.
Jeez Louise. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for being here. Thanks
Yeah,
for being
thanks
part of
for-
the show. You're an integral part of it. So, as you said, you write a lot of the sketches?
Garen does most of the writing. I am a writer. I have written some of our sketches, but Garen does, I believe, the bulk of it. And even some of the stuff I write with my brother as well. So I can't even take full credit for the writing.
Okay, well, even if it's not full credit, can you just remind our viewers of past episodes, episodes that you've really been integral to?
The Creepy Doll sketch.
Creepy
was
Doll,
one that I liked.
I liked it
that
too.
I did. One of our sketches, it was one of the first ones we did, but we didn't. We ended up having some technical problems, so the audience hasn't seen it. It's a sketch called Lights Only, which everybody seems to like the writing of, but it's not something we've done.
Would you give a brief synopsis, because I was involved
Lights
in that one?
Only it's a sketch where Phil goes on an audition, and he's auditioning for the role of, what was it, Daniel, or doesn't matter. He's in
Some guy, some white guy.
all black casting agent, director, the whole thing, all black crew, and he's the white guy. He's the token white guy, and they want him to be just as white as possible, and he's not getting it. And then he starts getting stereotypical, and then I don't want to spoil the ending, but it's a reversal on race issues in Hollywood.
Yeah.
From the point of view of somebody who's never had to deal with it, so it's a little on the nose, but that's
Yeah. No, it's cool. Hopefully we'll get a chance to refilm and sort of put that up on one of our future episodes. So, the writing we mentioned, and then how about the directing? So what is your role with the directing of the sketches?
Just standard directing, get everybody together, you know, just, I mean, I think everybody knows what a director wants. Everybody wants to be a director is what I'm saying.
Oh,
So they all
everyone
kind of
wants to be a
understand.
director, certainly.
Just for the sketches, the only difference I think between that and something like doing a short film is it's a lot, the time constraints are a lot smaller and you have a lot less to work with. So you have to be very effective. And part of this is me as a writer as well, be very effective with the content that you're producing because you have so little time. You've got to nail it and be done start to finish.
Right, and I don't know if I'm spoiling any secrets here for anyone watching the show, but we put these sketches together really quickly.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we film this live show every 2 weeks. That means we have to have content that's ready to go within a 2-week span, and usually it's a week. You know, there's the writing.
We spend a week writing, getting ready, doing pre-production. Some weeks, if we can afford to, and if the scheduling works out, we can do a couple of sketches in one location, which is nice and that's fun. We're not always that lucky, and then some weeks complications arise and we don't have any sketches, honestly, and it happens and it sucks, but you know, we just try to make up for it the next week.
Just for you have no frame of reference, if you were to go out and just shoot a short film that's like 5 minutes long and have like a high production value, a whole cast and crew, I mean, how long would that take from beginning to end? I mean, that takes...
I mean, everybody does it a little different, because I know some feature films have been shot in 5 days.
That's
they're on like 1 or 2 locations, low budget. Like Joss Whedon's Much Ado About Nothing was shot in that amount of time. I think Clerks was shot in like a week. So sometimes it happens, but normally for a short, I mean, you're looking at least 2 to 3 days of filming.
Yeah.
If you really are paying attention to what you're doing, and you're really, you know, if you've got multiple locations. Scheduling is really the biggest issue. If you can get it all done in one day, of course that's the preference because it's easier on food and stuff, but that means sacrificing things.
Only because it's relevant at this very moment. I'm involved in a 72-hour film festival.
Nice.
And that's just what it sounds. You have 72 hours, so 3 days exactly from the start of the concept into the finished edit. So you go in and then you sign up, and then they'll give you a log line. So they'll give you what the story's about, and there's some points you have to hit, dialogue you have to hit in there, visual cues.
Some things that you got to stick in.
You have to stick
to prove that it's not something
that you've already shot, you know, that you've already pre-planned. So
that's one I've never done.
That's one you've never done.
I've never done 24, 48, or 72-hour film festivals. I did a.
But you can. I mean,
I'm capable of it, but the thing is, the stuff that we do, we have control over. You know, we're not given like
Restraints.
a shoehorn to force something into a skit. You know, we come up with an idea, we think about it for a long time. You know, we've got a week or two of planning on some of these because we start writing them early and we think, oh, where can we shoot? What can we do?
Yeah.
What would work within our limitation? And we work our way towards a sketch that we can shoot in a day.
Yeah.
Because we know our limitations. If we're working on a 72-hour film festival, you don't have that time because you literally have like what, a day to write it.
Day to write it, day to shoot, day to edit.
Yeah.
Usually, that's
So
how it goes.
I mean, it's challenging for sure.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm too meticulous. I can't do that. I would have an aneurysm or something.
Right. Well, there's a way, like you were kind of mentioning, of like backwards engineering. Like, oh, this location's awesome. Let's write a sketch around that.
Yes.
You know, or like when you're doing.
We've got this person that we're working with right now.
Yeah.
And they fit this role, or they have this experience, or whatever.
Yeah. So that way that eliminates the time that like, okay, well, I wrote a scene about a cowboy. Now I have to find a cowboy outfit and teach some guy how to do a rope or anything like that. If you work backwards and realizing people's strengths, that's the way to go. And I think that's what the direction that Quiet on the Set has been taking is just figuring out what everyone's good at and just sort of becoming, you know, those teams that put together these feature films in like weeks and a half, you know, it's all the same crew.
Yeah.
You know, when we had Addison on here, you know, he would kind of do that with his team. You know, they would pump out these films because everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
And they all work together really, really well.
And they can communicate quickly, and they can reference something where they say, "Oh, let's do like that one shot we did on this."
Oh, everyone's got
and
it.
everybody know, and then they could just go straight towards fixing it, doing whatever the thing is.
Right. To branch away from Quiet on the Set, now you're also involved in a podcast as well.
Yes, the Unscripted podcast here on the Unscripted Network, where you should like and subscribe.
Yeah, right by the set, like and subscribe. So, all right. So, what is the podcast?
Podcast. It was the first thing that we all started as a team here, and what was it, like 2 years ago now? I don't even remember. Garen and Sergey. Sergey's a producer on the podcast. Or he's been busy, but he was a producer on the podcast originally. And Garen, everybody knows Garen. They approached us like, hey, we want to do a podcast. What do you guys think? We said, no, don't do it. It's a bad idea. We've tried it. It's terrible. You can't. It's a mistake. And they said, we don't really think so. And he said, okay, fine. We'll give you one. We'll do it. Let's try it. Let's make it happen. And it ended up being really successful. Let me rephrase that. I don't know if success. Everybody measures success differently. I think it was successful because I enjoyed myself. So to me, it was successful because I haven't wanted to stop doing it since we started.
So it's been continuous.
Yes, we've missed maybe a week or two here and there, but essentially we've gone every week for the last. How long ago was it? Somebody give me 2 fingers, 1 finger, a finger and a half. About a year and a half, I'm getting. So we've been doing it for a while.
Yeah. I've been a guest.
Yes, you have. We've had a number of guests. We don't do guests so much anymore because I think we save the guests for this show. The Unscripted podcast has had a lot of format changes, realistically. It started off, first episode was done in here in the studio. We immediately went to the radio station on campus, and we started doing it on the radio, which is a much different realm than I'm used to because you got the FCC involved and you can't swear, which if anybody knows me personally, that's something that I do frequently outside of like broadcast. So it's a lot of self-control, a lot of restraint. You can't have dead air. You've got to be moving constantly. And there's like this thrill of like, oh, it's live, and
we're live right now.
Something goes wrong. And that's what I get from this show too. When I'm behind the board, it's the idea that like you can't mess it up because everybody's watching. And
how do you think I feel?
I know. And if you do mess it up, you've got to very carefully fix it and hope nobody notices, which is the real fun. So we started that. We did it on the radio for I don't know, a year, or 9 months or something like that, and then we got off the radio. We went back to doing it in a studio. We've moved around, and then we do it in this room again.
It's not a video podcast, is it?
It is a video podcast now. It didn't start that way. Initially, it was just audio. For the entire time we were on the radio. Basically, once we started this show, and a little bit prior to that, we started experimenting with video, and we did like security camera style, like webcams that we nailed to the wall, basically.
Oh wow.
And then once we did this, we just said, let's do video, let's do it for real. And it's been interesting. It's a different shift, you know. Sometimes you forget